Welcome to the product drill down. Here we see key metrics that allows us to make decisions on the product level. First, we have the order numbers. Here we see the category that this product belongs to, as well as the icons indicating that in the midterm, this item has increased its order numbers, but in the short term between T2 to T1, there's been a decrease. If I hover over the graph, I see the order numbers in graph form as well as the units sold as reflected in the lighter green color. By hovering over the order numbers, you can see a day-by-day breakdown of how many orders were made on any given day. Next, we have the shopper funnel journey. This is the journey the customer takes from initial visit to purchase. First, we have the listing visits. By hovering over the graph, we see a breakdown of the visits according to PPC visits in orange, the organic visits in green, the listing visits in purple, and the buy box visits in blue. By hovering over the number of visits, you can see a day-by-day breakdown of how many visits this item received on any given day. You'll notice that the numbers are color-coded. They indicate an increase or decrease to the average number of visits. Next, we have the seller success rate. By hovering over the graph, we can see how many visits it takes on average before a customer purchases this item. Here we see the breakdown of success rate from PPC, organic, and the overall. That it takes an average of 14 visits through PPC to convert to a purchase, whereas through organic, it only takes 12. Next, we have the cause and effect indicators. These are things the customer may take into account when deciding whether or not to purchase. First, we have the item price. By hovering over the number, you can see any changes that were made on a day-to-day basis to the item price. Next, we have a price coupon, which would show up were there a coupon on it for this item. Next, we have the bestseller rank, and by hovering over the graph, we can see those numbers reflected in a graph form. Reviews and average rating. And next, we have the buy box. By hovering over the graph, we can see the percentage of the buy box in graph form. Next, on cause and effect indicators, we have PPC. We have the display, also known as impressions on Amazon. We have clicks, the number of times people have clicked into the ad. Our click-through rate percentage, as well as order reliance. The order reliance indicates what percentage of all purchases have come through PPC. And last but not least, we have profitability. Here we have the organic margin, which is the margin percentage before PPC. By hovering, we can see the organic margin on time interval by time interval basis. Next, we have the tacos. By hovering over the graph, we can see this in graph form. And next, we have gross profit, which is the profit in dollar amount before PPC. And then we have ad spend, which is the tacos in dollar form. We can see those numbers reflected in a graph. And then we have the net profit and net margin charts, which shows the profit and margins after PPC. By hovering over the graph, you can see the dollar amount after PPC has been taken into account. And the next graph shows the same thing in percentage form. The profit margin after PPC.
You can also change your view here
on the time interval filter. If you wish to see further back, you can click the 14-day intervals, and the data will change to reflect that time frame. To go even further back and look at the data on a month-to-month basis, click 30 days, and you'll see that the data has changed. So how do we use this information in order to make actionable decisions? This item overall has been on the increase over the past 3 time intervals, with an exceptional week during T2. I see that listing visits have gone up. However, please note that the PPC clicks have increased, that's the orange line, whereas the organic visits have decreased between T2 to T1 as reflected in the green line. Ideally, we would want to see the reverse, that more people are clicking in the organic list, which would indicate that ranking has improved. You'll notice that the price has increased between T2 to T1 and could be a cause for the decrease in organic visits. We see that order reliance has increased, which makes sense as the clicks have also increased, whereas the success rate has remained more or less the same when compared to T2. However, the most telling point is the profits. How is the bottom line with this decision? To increase the price, the increase in price has increased the margins. And even taking into account the increased ad spend due to increased clicks, at the end of the day, T1 has been the most profitable interval. This is an item that I would keep on my list to check back on in another week, with the hope to see that the organic visits have stabilized. And if it has stabilized, consider revisiting